The Constitutional Court is expected to pronounce itself on the Nkandla case involving President Jacob Zuma. Can you give us a quick rundown on how it ended up in the highest court in South Africa?
Well, since the public protector had been requested to investigate the expenditure on Nkandla, we have seen Parliament actually engaging in a process where they stated that the president doesn't have to pay anything back on what has been spent, despite the public protector's finding that the president has to pay a certain amount. It is out of that actually opposition parties approached the Constitutional Court.
You must have been surprised when when that particular hearing started in the Constitutional Court to see that there were so many concessions coming from the side of Zuma. As an example, there's now a U-turn on the issue of the safety upgrades. And we understand that the president might actually avail himself to pay a certain amount towards that. So what is the feeling right now in terms of that particular U-turn?
It was actually a big surprise. Even members of Parliament were actually surprised because they have defended him for months that he doesn't have to pay anything. It shows that he weighed in on how vulnerable he is as the head of the executive, and I think also that he was trying to avoid a situation where the Constitutional Court will have to evaluate the entire process or the entire report by the public protector.
There was an overwhelming vote from the side of the ANC for this report not to to proceed any further, for the president to actually be exonerated from the findings of the report, especially with regards to the non-security upgrades that were done on Nkandla. Now, well, in terms of the overall image of the ANC and perhaps of the whole legislature currently in South Africa, what is the image that the public is getting from this whole issue?
Well, at the end of the day, the Speaker of Parliament is going to be under pressure. The judgment will certainly reflect upon the credibility of the Speaker of Parliament and also the use of the majority that the ANC has in Parliament when it comes to processing matters such as this.
But now looking at, having followed, the actual arguments in the Constitutional Court and looking at the various concessions that had been made with respect to the defense of President Jacob Zuma, where do you see, the outcome going tomorrow?
A lot of issues that have been a dispute regarding this matter, particularly the powers of the public protector, are no longer a dispute. As the president submitted, he's no longer disputing the power. So the court might end up restraining itself and limiting its judgment to the actual issues involving the payment of the money. This might be a political decision because if the court weighs in heavily on this issue and if it issues a judgment that can be directly used by the opposition parties to try to impeach the president, the judiciary will have compromised itself and would have been seen as playing a political role.
Ralph Mateka, political analyst in South Africa, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much for inviting me.